Just wondered now, as you've experienced it, and there's been a lot of talk about it since it's been introduced, what do you think needs improving with it? What do you make of it? Has it been good, bad?
Oh, it's good that you asked me from television, because what I heard was that the actual extra time in the first half should have been 10 minutes. It was only 4 minutes.
It's not my fault.
But how I heard the television was they said it's no longer than 4 minutes. Of course, that's not possible. You cannot cut match time for only because you have something else to broadcast. I don't know what was afterwards, maybe the news or something. Can you imagine? Then that's how it is. It was 10 minutes, and you need to play 10 minutes longer. So I cannot say that's now a little bit too long. So that's one thing. The other thing is I said it after the game immediately, and I think I'm always said that the first thing what we all have to do is to save the players. So with all the things, it's like a kind of education. You do it once, but a lot of players in the past did already ugly challenges. So I think it's already better, but they're still there. So and if you are late or too ruthless in a challenge, then you need to be sanctioned. You need to be punished for it. That's how it is. And yesterday night we had was it yesterday? Yeah, Cardiff.
Yeah.
It was a bad challenge for sure. We had a similar situation. It would be interesting now. Did anybody of you write anything in all the VAR things or about that foul that they missed it? That's the only question. Did you read anything about the foul? Yes, you wrote about it. Yes, one. So that's only how it is. So we all talk about it, and in the end, one really important thing we don't talk about. That was more important for us. We lost the game. We played bad. So that's a big thing. But you asked me now about video assistant ref. And if there's somebody see the situation and you don't challenge it, that's really bad for the game. Because we all need the players. Without the players, we can't do what we do. If they lose, I don't know, the mood to go in the dribbling, because I think if he hits me, nobody gets punished for it. That's the situation. So I'm 100% of the same opinion like Pep. We need to save the players. So that's how it is. And that didn't happen. All the rest was obviously new, and I think for the first time it's completely normal that it takes longer. That's how it is. But how I said, it had nothing to do with our performance. It was not because of rhythm breaks or whatever that we lost the game. It was about us and West Brom, of course. So that they did well. We not. That's why they are in the next round. Yeah, that's it.
Can you bring us up to date with Daniel Sturridge? We understand there's been an inquiry from Newcastle. We know about an offer from Inter Milan as well. What do you expect to happen before the transfer deadline now with Daniel?
In the next 3 days, probably there will happen a lot in the transfer market, and we will see what happens here. But nothing else to say about that. So, how you can imagine, even if there would be something, it wouldn't help us or Daniel or another club to make the deal. So that's why it makes no sense to talk about it. You write it anyway, or you bring it anyway. So don't need my saying for that, I think.
And after the last two results, the argument put forward is that maybe it's an indication that Liverpool need to replace Coutinho in this transfer window. What do you make of that?
Phil Coutinho is not to replace in this transfer window. So there's no why paid Barca a big amount of money for a player like Phil Coutinho, because it's pretty rare to get in. So we can't stop thinking about that. It's not about replacing anybody. It's about using our own opportunities, our own tools, players, tactics, formations, all that stuff. And yes, it's right. We didn't play well at Swansea, but a few days before we played fantastic against Man City. So, and now we didn't play, but of course we could have won anyway at Swansea, and exactly the same with the last game. So it doesn't say anything about the performance. It's only the results were not good enough, but we could have won these games. So it was not about creating chances. It was about different stuff, different things on the game again against Swansea. Formation-wise, against West Brom, defending. So, and I don't think that Phil would have helped a lot in these situations, to be honest, when he was a fantastic player, but that was not a problem there. We have to find immediately back on the winning track, if you want. We need results to reach our targets. We know that, but the solution is not out there on the transfer market in that moment. I said we have always open eyes in situations like that, but it's not that there's something out there for us to get, and because we really think we have to use first of all our players. Unfortunately, in a moment when Phil left, Adam got a little injury again. It's unlucky, of course, but not to change. But that cannot be the reason for now getting nervous and go out and try to do something. So, in the long term, we will do a lot. In the short term, I don't think that will happen a lot.
Can I talk about penalties, please? It's not been great over the last 10. I'm sure you would probably agree with that. But how does it work here on the training field?
A lot, really. It's unbelievable. So it's good that you ask, because the boys pretty much after each session out there, and there are still 4 or 5 players who think they should take them. So they try it and they do it, and they are really good in it. And Roberto Firmino was in this group, probably will still be in this group after training, and he scored before, fantastic goal, is in a good moment. So it was a logical decision that he is the one to take it. And at the end, it's about 2 inches, centimeters, whatever. Fantastic penalty or missed penalty. It's really not cool, but how it is. We can make it bigger, or we can accept it like part of the game, that things like happen will still happen in football, and will again happen. But we had this last year when Millie scored, it felt like 50, and then what was it, Middlesbrough or no, Southampton, I think, at home. He didn't score, and yeah, it was a very important one, to be honest. So, but it always can happen outside. It's not cool, but it's not a real problem. You can make a problem of it, but we still have players out there. They are able to finish a situation like that from 11 meter.
Huddersfield Town next, your old mate, Mr. Wagner, in charge of them. How do you feel that they've done since the start of the season, when they were absolutely flying?
Usually it's not my job to talk about an opponent. I can make an exception, of course, in this case, because it's Dave. But I really think that everybody expected before the season that Huddersfield will fight for the league until the end. So should not be a surprise. They did so far fantastic with the possibilities they have, with the money they have and stuff like that. They do really brilliant. They are in the middle of a group who fights for the league. That's how it is. And of course, how it always is in a season, the less game you have, the bigger the pressure is. It's the same for us. So you cannot fix each bad result you had a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So I think for this game especially, so I think they did fantastic, to be honest. So, but for this game, it's not too important what happened the last few weeks. So it's clear that both teams really need the points, and probably will see that in the game. So it makes it really interesting for everybody who wants to see it, and that's the challenge we have to face.
Yeah. Can you see them maybe establishing themselves like, say, for example, Burnley have done, who were on, I suppose, a similar budget, and they've sort of worked from the bottom, and they know that each one...
I don't think that Huddersfield is long enough in the Premier League to compare them immediately with Burnley. I think if you compare the positives Burnley has and Huddersfield, they're maybe like between us and Burnley, I don't know exactly, but there's a big difference. They're being 1 year in the Premier League and not for a few years, so that makes all the difference. Sean Dyche and Burnley are doing a fantastic job there. So, but we cannot compare different clubs in these situations. But that's of course the chance they have. That's how it is to stay in the league and to use again the situation one more time and then to stay there again. So that's how it is. It's always possible. It's nice that it's possible, but unfortunately, from our point of view, they have to do it without any points from Liverpool. So we have to we have our, how I said, we have our own targets, and for them we needed 3 points.
Thank you.
Yeah, again, you've been pretty robust in the past in defending your defenders when they've been highlighted for criticism in various matches, but the last couple of games, Swansea and Saturday against West Brom, it's been chaotic on occasions, hasn't it? Is it back to basics now in terms of the way?
Against Swansea?
Well, 4 players going for the one ball.
Oh, yeah, but that's not, that happens in football, so yeah, that's not chaotic defending, that's rather good attitude. Yes, we could have done better, but that's as well normal if you involve a new player in this situation. So because I think Virgil is a logical target or a taker of this situation with the header. So if he's reacting in one way, that needs to be tuned if you want. But the last game was we watched here in this room, by the way, the goals back, and at the end, when I spoke out about defending, maybe it's a language issue. I didn't speak about the centre halves or the last line in these situations. They're always involved because they should be around when somebody scores a goal. But I showed the boys where we should have defended, where we could have reacted much better. At the end, it's clear. We have twice Rodriguez in a good situation. If we have a better position on different positions in the team, then we can avoid this goal easily. The first one, the second one for sure as well. We lose him in their kind of build-up in the last few passes. Rodriguez at the end has a free run in the box, so that's then. But for example, the second goal, Trent tries to deny or avoid the cross. Joel is in the space; he has to be with the man. Then there's a gap. This gap should be filled up by another player because Virgil is with another player in a man-marking situation. How it is in a box, in a situation when the cross comes in a box. So, but there's a gap, and that needs to be filled up. And in this moment, we didn't fill it up because a second ago, Emre jumps in a situation in midfield where he wants to win the challenge, lose this challenge. Gini comes not inside. Alberto is not close enough, and both wingers are not even involved. So a lot of things happened, and that's how defending actually works. And in a moment when we again find immediately back to the mood of defending, that everybody is responsible for these things, and then we will defend immediately better again. That's how it is, and that's why we showed it to the boys. But it was not about that I blamed a player or whatever. It was about showing what really happened, because players probably won't look back a game like this and think, "Oh my God, that was it." Then they try to ignore it, and this time I didn't want to give them the opportunity to ignore it. So we put the finger in it, but now we have to do it better.
Despite the negatives of the last week and the 2 consecutive defeats, your form in general over the past 3 months has been very good. So you can't allow that to sort of to railroad you off, the direction of travel.
100%. But that's how football is, how life is. It's really 2 weeks ago that we had an 18 game unbeaten run, whatever, and then you lose twice, and everything feels different. That's absolutely the truth. But and that's okay, because for us it's very important that you feel it, and don't think it's not too important. No, it's very important. It were 2 really harsh defeats for us. They felt really hard, and that's good. But now we have to immediately show up again. That's for sure as well. And it's a season. It's a part of the season where you have to build on the basis you created so far, and not to gamble with it. I don't think the boys gambled, but it looks like if you give 2 big opportunities away. So we have to show immediately that we understood what happened in these 2 games, and have to make it much better from now on. And then it's again like it is. I know I mentioned it already, but then if you use a defeat to learn from it, then it's still a defeat, feels bad, but then it's okay. If you don't learn from it, then you are silly. So we should show that we are not silly. We want to be back on track immediately, and hopefully we can show that tomorrow night.
Sophie at the back,
Because of those two defeats after that long run, does this match feel like it's probably more important than it actually probably would feel normally?
I don't think so, to be honest, because I don't look ahead 4 or 5 weeks and think that's an important game and that's an important game, because for us, how you can imagine, they're all important. So it didn't change for Huddersfield, but of course, in a view from outside, maybe because we wasted 3 points at Swansea, whatever. But if we win against Swansea, I think we would have won against Swansea. I think we go to Huddersfield and our duty, everybody expect that we really try everything to win the game. So it didn't change. But if you want to see it like that from outside, and if then it's okay, of course. And we need to show that we really are ready for that. So that's how it is. But how I said, they're all difficult. Huddersfield is a special place now. They fight, the whole city fights for the league 100%. So they don't expect brilliant football or anything. They expect a proper fight, and that's what Huddersfield Town is ready to deliver. So we need to be there and need to deliver as well.
You got Jordan back against West Brom after a month out. How important is the role he plays, not only in terms of captain, but in the job he does in that midfield?
Oh, it's very, very important. We need all the boys, and I think Hendo did really well when he came on, like Millie did when he came on. They brought really some fresh ideas, obviously confidence. They were not involved in the first 60, 70 minutes, so then they showed up. Both had played, had good moments in the game and were involved in a lot of good things. So very, very important for us, so, of course.
Any final ones, Glenn?
Yeah, we already know Adam's out, but are there any other injuries ahead of tomorrow's game?
Not sure in a moment, so it's really close. Yeah, we had, again, a few knocks, different things, but nothing decided so far in this moment. It looks like all the players which were available for the last game are available again, but not 100%.